Scream 3 made money at the box office, but the overall return was less than the first two. And then with the reviews, there's a lot of negative reviews towards that movie. I feel that, and I don't really know at all, but you get the feeling that the studios were projecting that maybe any future sequels at that time probably would have bombed. So it took 11 years before Scream 4 came out, and miraculously, it brings back the main cast, director, screenwriter, cinematographer, and composer. And it really did have an uphill battle. The third movie, like I said, was destroyed by critics and audiences alike, pretty, for the most part. And it's been 11 years, so you have to appeal to a new audience. I mean, you're back into a high school setting again, so you still have the true Scream fans, but I think anyone who had a passing, slightly negative interest in it is probably not going to see Scream 4. So you really had to. The movie had to be, I think, a kind of a big hit. It had to maybe not monetarily be a big hit, but it had to be something that maybe something could be built upon. And Scream 4 opened up with mixed reviews. Not as bad as Scream 3, but they were not the greatest of reviews. And that caused the movie to kind of, not do the greatest at the box office. Scream has always been a series that explores the way that culture affects most younger people, with an emphasis on how horror films of the past influence them. The beginning of the movie is very fresh. It's revealed in reverse that two teens watch Stab 7, which features two teens watching Stab 6. Not only does this hook you, but the movie is very upfront that it's going to be the goriest Scream yet, and even fills you in with a few details about the direction that the Stab series has went since the last time we saw it. 2011 was a transitional time with social media. Cell phones are being used way more to connect not only with the people immediately around you, but with anyone in the world. And internet is allowing mobile devices to live stream anything. Becoming famous now can be easier than ever before, unless perhaps you have a cousin who is way more famous than you. In one of the more fun scenes, the cinema club scene, Charlie points out that the horror movies of the late 2000s have been mostly remakes and making the unexpected the new cliché. It's theorized that the killer is making more of a Scream make, just with different rules. Scream 4 certainly has callbacks to the first movie, but the rules it follows is that of its late 2000 counterparts. We learn early on that Dewey and Gale are still together, and the wrench thrown into their mix this time is Deputy Judy, who really doesn't hide her affection at all when she's around Dewey.
Or trying.
Hey, I made some lemon squares. They're in my car.
Thanks, Deputy, but no thanks.
Sheriff, you're not cheating on your wife if you eat my lemon square.
And the way her and Gale feud throughout the movie is some highlights that their scenes to feel like a light touch about them. Dewey proves once again that he likes reading by quoting Sydney's book, which she's in town for a signing of. He talks about how she is out of the darkness and facing life head on, which has been a major theme for Sydney throughout the first three movies. She will confront Ghostface to protect herself and others. Unfortunately, she was too late for the murder of Olivia. Gale has turned to writing fiction and is currently in a writer's block. And lucky for her, some murders have occurred, so now Woodsboro is exciting again. And she tries to go back to her old ways, her detective reporter methods, and gets involved thinking that she might even have the upper hand since Dewey's a sheriff. But he definitely resists her everywhere he can, for obvious reasons. You can't blame him, but this also puts pressure on the relationship with him and Gale, since obviously Gale knows that Deputy Judy has a thing for him, and just she wants some more support from Dewey at this point. But As with all the Scream movies, everybody's a suspect in this. But this time, even Sydney is a bit of a suspect. You have that scene with her trunk with the phone and the blood and all the posters of her. And so, obviously, since she was involved, she has to stay there in Woodsboro. But also, it's just suspicious that, of course, the murders start right when she gets into town. This idea seems to kind of just be forgotten because there's kind of an opportune moment in the movie where she could have more suspicion raised about her. There's the scene with Olivia's murder, and Sydney just rushes across next to the house to go and hopefully catch Ghostface before he has a chance to get away. If only it was shown that she didn't go up to Jill's bedroom first, and maybe Jill was not over there and Ghostface was not seen by Jill, then plausibly at this point in the movie, you could say, oh, well, when the cops showed up, the only person that was there at the scene of Olivia's murder was Sydney, who was claiming there was a ghost face. You feel like, oh, that could have been an opportune time where they might have been thinking, oh, was there really a ghost face there, or was it Sydney the entire time?
He's in here.
Where is he? Ma'am?
He was.
We'll check out back. There's nobody back there. Boss, call it in.
Right.
Hey, are you okay?
You should look upstairs.
Anyway, they never really explore that. The final showdown is one of the best of the series. Ghostface asks more horror movie questions. Much of the waste is played out in the same way here as the first one. And then the surprising killer reveals and the brutality of Jill really propelled this film into being what I consider very much underrated.
What world are you living in? I don't need friends. I need fans. Don't you get it? This has never been about killing you. It's about becoming you.
I do think there's one too many characters that get in the way of expanding ideas in the second act, but what we get in the second act is still interesting with standout scenes like the film club and Screamathon, among others. So that's some of the things, themes, and just general ideas that I had about the Scream 4. Overall, it's not too deep of a story, but there's a lot to really like. I alluded to the box office that it had, and it pretty much broke even. I forget exactly, but I do remember there didn't seem too much excitement. Not a lot of water cooler talk about the movie coming out. Certainly, people online were excited, and anyone who liked the Scream franchise was really excited. But the general public was just kind of okay on it, and that probably showed in the box office returns, coupling with the fact that it didn't get the greatest of reviews from either critics or audiences, just like the third movie. And I'm actually kind of perplexed as to why Scream 4 is not more well liked. It's it's not without its flaws. Like I said, it kind of has like a light plot, and then a few weak characters, definitely at least one too many. But its successes far outweigh the negatives. When it came out, there was talk whether or not there would be a fifth one, and you saw that the box office returns was okay, and maybe they were good enough to maybe try to build upon the slight success, if you want to call it that, of the fourth movie, and especially lovers of the franchise. Any friends of mine who liked the movies, we were hoping, we were so kind of elated that we finally got a fourth one, that certainly maybe a fifth one is on its way. And unfortunately, 4 years after Scream 4 came out, Wes Craven died, and that kind of put a real damper in things. At that point, you're like, oh, he was kind of your hope, the puppeteer of all the Scream movies, sort of. If anyone can get the movie made, it would have been him. So that really dashed away some hopes for Scream 5. But now here we are. I do have Scream 5 getting ready to come out on the channel next. And then, of course, I'll see Scream 6 on Thursday evening. But until next time, have a great night.